Hi, I'm Pastor Rod Fair from Victoria, British Columbia, and today I want to talk to you about clutter. Now, as you can see, I am filming from a different location today, and as I am in my garage in front of my workbench, you can tell it's not always the neatest place. There's a lot of clutter that happens inside of my garage, and especially on my workbench, because when I'm working on an item, there are times when I want to get to the actual building of it, or I'm just kind of needing to go somewhere, and so I throw those extra tools or those extra supplies on the bench saying, I'll sort it out later. And that's exactly what clutter is. It is one of those things that happens when we just throw things together, we toss things that are miscellaneous, that really don't belong together, but we leave them in a jumble and a mess, and we're going to sort them out later. You know, when I was growing up, the place in our house that had the most clutter was called a junk drawer. It was in our kitchen, and every time that we needed to find something that was just kind of an odd item, my mom would say, "Did you look in the junk drawer?" And there are those things that were in there like Scotch tape. Did you look in the junk drawer for the Scotch tape? Or a stapler, or a ruler, sometimes pens and pencils. There'd be maybe a spare battery in the junk drawer. There would be maybe screws or a screwdriver even to go with those screws. There was all kinds of things in there, bits of paper and things that you might need at a moment's notice. Sometimes you could even find the die that was belonging to that Monopoly set that you just had to go looking for that extra piece. All kinds of things get thrown together in a junk drawer. When I was a young adult, I worked for my grandfather on his farm, and he had this great workshop. It was fantastic. It was filled with all kinds of things, cool things. And as you went looking and exploring, it was kind of fun to see what was there. I loved that workshop, just seeing what kind of bolts and what kind of metal pieces and parts that came off of tractors and other kinds of farm machinery. But I also hated that workshop, because it was when we were fixing something that my grandfather would say, "Hey, can you go get me this little piece?" And I'd go, "Where is it?" "Oh, it's in the workshop." "Oh no, I don't want to go looking for something that I have to find in the workshop." That would just be hard because it was so full of clutter. You know, anytime we have a place that's cluttered, the thing that we need to do is we need to sort it. We need to get rid of the garbage, throw out the stuff that is not necessary, and then we need to organize the good stuff so that it can be useful. It's a useful space and everything is organized and put away in the proper spot. Then we can find those things that are good and we can use them again. And that's the way that we need to treat life often, is that we need to declutter it, especially when we're talking about our soul. There are times when our soul gets so full of emotional baggage and the hard things that we're doing, even old habits, bad habits, behaviors that aren't very good, maybe relationships that we have not done so well with, or maybe other things that we've done great with, and our soul gets so full and cluttered. God has something to say about decluttering the soul. And this is important for every one of us. In 1 John chapter 1:9, John wrote to the church and he said, "If we confess our sin, he is faithful and just and will forgive us our sin and purify us from all unrighteousness." It is at that moment where we take these words seriously, where we begin to declutter our soul. If we confess our sin, we come to God and say, "Listen, I have a problem. Everything's kind of messy." Life does get messy. And when we can come to God and say, "Can you help me to declutter the hard things, the tough things in my soul?" We begin to talk to God like that. And then all of a sudden, you know, we can bring that stuff that's garbage, really. And we say, "God, I just confess that to you. Will you forgive me?" And he promises that he will forgive us. And you know, he also promises that he will purify us, that he will help us to sort out all of the good stuff and organize it and to keep our soul alive and well and pure so that we can have this relationship with him that's good and open and honest. And when we have a relationship with God that way, we can also have a relationship with others that way. We declutter our soul. Decluttering is a good thing to do for our junk drawer or our garage, our workbench or storage spaces, But it's also a great thing to do for our soul. We come to God and say, God, can we clean up some of the things that are on the inside? And He promises that He'll be with us and that He'll help us to do so. Remember, everyday moments are spiritual moments. Have a great day today. If you would like to know more about me and the church that I serve, you can go to northdouglaschurch.com, or you can connect with me by contacting me through Facebook Messenger, or comment below this video, like our channel on YouTube or our page on Facebook.